Welcome back to Burn the Ship, the podcast we connect entrepreneurs to professionals to help you go all in on your business. I'm your host, Ezra Brown, and without further ado, I'm going to allow my guest to introduce herself.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. My name is Maureen Gicharu.
Maureen, so tell us a little bit. First off, thank you for joining us today and taking time out of your day to come on the show and sit here and talk a little bit about your journey with us. But what I'd like to hear from you first is kind of elaborate a little bit on your story, who it is and what you do.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. A little bit about my vision of the business. Actually, I never thought I was going to be a business owner or entrepreneur. I grew up in the mindset of go to school, get a good job, and and that's that's the mindset I had. And
Right.
then, but back in I grew up in Kenya, so seeing my grandparent go through challenges of having cancer and my grandmother had dementia, we didn't know anything about that, and nobody was in our family in healthcare. So the passion, like those are my two favorite people, my grandma and my grandfather.
Right, absolutely.
So that's kind of like spark, like we can do more than that. So that's where the passion came in, and I went to school and became a family nurse practitioner. And then the vision started. I was like, I can start my own business, but I didn't know anything about. So that's kind of how the passion and everything got started.
Yeah, for sure. And then with the spark, so being an entrepreneur, it's one of those things that I hear, especially doing this podcast a ton, is I hear it's either they started out and they've always been entrepreneur, or it's something like you and it just kind of falls into play as to something that you already like doing. But how did you know that you were going to be able to turn it into something that it is now?
I think with faith.
Yeah.
Because nothing is really set in stone. So
Right.
I knew it's like anything I put myself into, I always succeed. So with faith and having mentors, I knew I can do this, and that's
Absolutely.
how we got started.
That's awesome. And then with, you run a home care agency, and then kind of tell the people a little bit about your business and what it is you do.
Okay, so our business it's called Maurina Homecare Agency. We currently serve about 10 counties here in Georgia, and we offer in-home care services. We offer 3 services. Anything that you need care for your mom transitioning from the hospital to home, or rehab to home. We are your best provider, home care. We provide skilled nursing. What is that? This is where they need maybe a registered nurse to go in and assess their wound, help them with the IV. That's part of the skilled services, and making sure we are assessing the home. There's no like fall precaution. The other services we offer is personal care services. These people, maybe they just had stroke or they need help at home. We help with that, and that's under personal care services. And the last services we offer is companion care. These are patients who are neurological trauma. They cannot be left alone, like dementia. We help them with that.
That's awesome. And what you do is, that's God's work. I can tell you that. It's awesome. It takes special people to do what you guys do.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's super awesome. What, with your grandparents, I guess, was kind of what drove you to wanting to get into that field is how have you kind of grown your business over the time of doing it, especially, whether that been the networking, the word of mouth, what all have you done to help grow that business?
I would give credit first to God, because without God, like, there's no way I could have been here. The next thing is I've always had good support from my family. Anything I venture in, they always support me, so I'll give credit to them. Also having a business coach, because you don't know what you're doing, so having that person to guide you through. So Coach Michelle, that's my business coach.
Yeah.
So I give credit to you, because everything I know about business, like, I've learned a lot from them. And networking with people like you, BNI for sure, I give credit to that. And just, I'd say, getting yourself from uncomfortable to comfortable.
Absolutely, yeah. That's it's definitely something I struggled with when I first started, just getting to doing that uncomfortable. I didn't like public speaking at all. And then I had to do it because I do it a couple times a week. So I was like, well, I guess you got to learn how to do it.
Yes. I'm an introvert, so I still struggle, but I got to get out of
I think you do pretty good at it. I think you do pretty good.
Thank you.
And knowing, so being an immigrant, coming to the States, and then starting out your business, you know, that's something that is incredible. It's an American dream, essentially, I guess you would say. And doing that's incredible. I want to take my hat off to you for that because that's awesome. And with the home care agency, I didn't know you covered 10 counties. I didn't know that. So, and that's grown probably since the last time we really sat down and had a one-to-one, a tremendous amount too. And
Yes.
what is it with you guys that you would say is different about your home care agency than the chuck in a truck down the road, as Jerry would say?
I think a few things we do different is our motto is we want to treat how I would treat my grandma. That's how I want to treat my client. I want them to feel like they're being seen. Whatever their needs are, we are meeting their needs. And also really having that personal touch. Like want to know their story. Not what important to me, what's important to them.
Right.
That's what I think that's a big differentiator from us. And I think also another thing that would set up us apart is we are not just like I think one of our BNI members said order takers. No, want to make sure like, hey, this is what you want us to do for the family. This is what we're gonna give by providing you quality caregivers, or if it's a register nurse, and making sure that we are really catering your need. At the end of the day, we are providing service.
Right.
We are there we are service to you.
Right.
Yes. So we always say that whenever we go to our home, either it's their home, assisted living, at hospital, wherever they call home, like we are your helpers. We are your helping hands. That's how we can term it as.
That's awesome. And then how do you kind of vet out the people that are coming to work for you and going into these people's homes? If it's not you, how do you guys kind of vet them to make sure that they fit the mold of what you guys are, what your guys' mission is?
That's a great question. And we get that question a lot. So a few things we do different. We do, we call a 3-step background check. This is where we just do a general check, and then we have a comprehensive test. We check them, and then we do a pre-screening, and then finally we do a final pre-screen, making sure that the people we have, they are vetted. There's no criminal charges. They're people who are trustworthy, because we are coming to people's space.
Right.
They are trusting us with their loved one. That's
Absolutely.
a big responsibility, but big honor. So we want to make sure we are honoring them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, Maureen, you do have a little bit of a new endeavor that's going to be new, which it'll be out when this podcast drops. So I guess we can talk about it a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on now.
Yes, this is something that I never thought I was going to do, but I just wrote a book. The name of it is Imagine as Your Best Self. It's exciting. It's a new endeavor. It's about self-belief, coming from immigrant country. Like, that's something that you have to either have it, because if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect other people to believe in?
Right.
Another thing is resilience. In life, things gonna be thrown to you. So how do you handle that? So if it's business, if it's in military, if it's in writing a book, we have to have that resilience. Nobody's born with the resilience, but we can always have tools that we can use. So I talk about the tools about being resilience, self-belief, and also the power in your voice, because we all come from different heritage and culture, but sometimes we do struggle with that. So that kind of helps that girl who's struggling, or a boy, or whoever you are, that just know that your voice matters.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And what kind of struck your mind to want to start writing a book, become an author?
Well, actually, I got this vision back in 2018, And I told God, like, no, you gotta give it to somebody else, not
Right.
me, because I'm very introvert. So I told her, no, no, no. And then it came back in 2020. So I was like, I'm gonna be obedient and just do your will.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. But
That's
I
awesome.
still, it's still unbelievable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then with the book, where if somebody wants to purchase the book, where can they make a purchase?
So for right now, it's available at our website, www.selfimagineasyourbestself.com. And then it's going to be available in Amazon and Barnes Noble.
Awesome. Is it going to be audio? Are you going to do an audio version too, or you just got the paper copies right now?
Not sure yet. Right now, I just have the paper copies.
I got you. Yeah, no, I was just wondering, just because I'm an audiobook person, but just because my reading is slow. But I am excited for you and to see kind of where this goes for you, because I know you are the true definition of resilience. You know, just hearing your story, the times I've heard it, and getting to know you over the last 2 years has been, I can tell without even reading it that you are an example of your story, and it's awesome. I think it's super awesome.
Thank you.
What would you say are kind of your plans for the book? Really, just yourself in business. What would you say your plans are over the next 5-10 years? What does that look like? Whether it's go full-time author and step back a little bit more from the home care and kind of let it run, or what does that look like for you?
My plan is basically to grow. I always say to grow as personally and professional. I try not to limit myself. Whether it's in business, you're planning to grow. Even with this book, I didn't know I was gonna write, so I try not to limit myself. It's just like always be prepared. Whatever opportunity comes, that I know that I won't miss it because I was not prepared. So I am open to the opportunities that come. We're probably gonna grow in business, even with the book in endeavors. Whatever opportunity comes with them, I am open.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then with your side and seeing you out in the networking space and meeting you via that way, is there any other like networking you do other than BNI or in chamber? Or those just kind of those are your two little caveats you get into in the networking space?
I would say those are like the major ones. I do the BNI, the chambers. I also do it's a co-op Cherokee networking, and also in the community like church, meeting person. It's just I'm always open to hearing something that I don't know and just going in there.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that's probably been a good testament to your success right there too, is just being able to be in there, going open-minded, and whenever you say in the book, like, the power in your own voice is insane, because if you tell yourself you can do something, you'll be able to do it, or you'll figure out how to do it. I can tell you that. And if you tell yourself you can't, you're probably not going to figure it out.
Correct.
Just because you're thinking at it at a negative connotation in that mindset, essentially.
Yeah.
I love that. I am excited to read the book, because I will, or even if it takes me tooth and nail to get through it, I'll figure it out. But tell us, from your side of your story and your journey and becoming an entrepreneur, what have been some of the hard things that you've had to deal with in the business side of it?
Wow, that's another great question. I feel like challenges comes, like, I have never prayed like before I was an entrepreneur, because there's this responsibility. You want to make sure everything goes well. There's the fear of unknown. When challenges come? So I feel like there's always challenges that come, but I always go back to the reason of my why. Why everything is why, and my why is worthy and of overcoming those challenges that I face.
That's awesome. And how long? So, also, you didn't go into your background a little bit. I want the people to kind of know a little bit about your background of what you did once you got to the States, kind of, because I know enough of it. They don't. I want them to know a little bit more about you too, what they don't already know. Being a veteran, veteran owned and operated, essentially, because you're reserve, right? And that's awesome in itself. And then coming over here and starting a business, like, it's super cool. But elaborate a little bit on your story for the people so they know.
So I was originally born and raised in Kenya. Moved here when I was a teenager. So I think there was a struggle of kind of finding my identity and coming to this country. That was like the biggest challenge. But I always credit back to the foundation my parents gave me, like God. And my mom always told us, like, always know that your parents are not going to be always there. So I had to learn quick to really stand on my ground. So that's a little bit of my background. I've always had the passion in healthcare. That's why I always end up and always had the impact of if I can help one person, my day is worth the day. So that's how kind of I started. The other challenges, I think, like I've always had people like made friends either at work. Started always in healthcare as a caregiver, got my registered nurse, and then eventually got my master's as a nurse practitioner, and then I ventured to being a home care agency owner. So I would say that's how kind of I got started.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So, and then Maureen, I got two questions for you that'll end it. One is going to be, what do you want to do with your time? Say that you got the home care agency running, operating smoothly. You get to do, you can either work where you don't have to work. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to go travel? Do you want to ride up and down the coast on the Golden Coast over there in California with a convertible, or do you want to go travel, sing, be with family? What is it that you want to do?
Before I answer that, I don't think I finished the other question. You asked about military.
Yeah.
So I would say my brother, he's a Marine. He's almost finishing up his 20 years. He was an inspiration to me. So going out there, and I knew that's something that I think my uncle also was in the military, so it's kind of like a heritage in the family and a tradition. So just going out there and knowing it's not about me, because that's what our parent taught us, and just going out there to serve the country, I would say it was one of my scariest thing, one of my fear, but it turned out like it has given me so much just by serving the country.
That's awesome. I appreciate you doing that for us too.
Yeah, appreciate your support.
Back to one of the last questions is going to be, what do you want to do with your time? Whenever that time comes, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you get to kick your feet up, what do you want to do with that time?
I think I would probably give up back to the community. I do have a non-foundation, Beacon of Light. So just powering people maybe in my country or in Africa or wherever I am. Probably be something to give back in the community. And also, I love traveling. Yeah. So I'll be traveling too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Where's your favorite place?
Right now it's in Italy.
Really? What part?
Either Rome, Venice.
Any there? You been over there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah. Yes.
I got you. I've never been over there either. I would love to go. Yes. I bet the food's amazing. And then the last thing I have is Burn the Ship. Is the name of our podcast. We always ask, the final question's always, we ask our guests what it was like for them to burn the ship and go all in on their business. Like you said, you didn't have that entrepreneur spirit. It just kind of happened. But what was it like for you to go from knowing, probably had an income before you started Maurina Homecare Agency and probably had a stable income, to go to, I want to start my own business, and you don't know kind of what that leads to, and what were those emotions like for you when you just jumped the ship and said, I'm going to do it and go all in on my business?
It was very scary, but like I say, once you know your why, everything is worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the very last thing we have is tell the people, give them a positive thought or something in the podcast.
A positive thought in podcast. I would say self-belief. I really love Mel Robbins. He always talked about, I don't know if I can find it, but I would say this is a quote by Mel Robbins. It says, your job is to believe it is possible and encourage yourself to keep walking towards it. No matter what, keep believing and give up your timeline for when and how it unfolds. So that's what I would say. Just whatever, if it's starting a business, traveling, getting whatever, loving again. Whatever you want to put yourself in, just believe in yourself and just go for it.
That's awesome. Maureen, thank you for joining us today. We'll have everything linked in below if you guys are interested in going and looking at the book or interested in Maureen's home care services. We'll have everything down below. So once again, thank you guys and burn the ship.